Calvin Ridley pulls an Arden Key and is off to Nashville, Tennessee to play for those god-awful Tennessee Titans. Now, before we get into this video, quick word from this video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
So you could have actually bet on Calvin Ridley's future team on BetUS, and guess what? The Titans were nowhere near, the top of this list, or weren't even on the radar until, I believe, around today when we started getting word that there was a dark horse AFC South team in the mix. So that one's out the door. But over on BetUS, we're going to get into a lot of different bets that you can make, really geared toward the NFL draft. Lots of really fun stuff coming out there on BetUS. And guess what? They're going to match your first 3 deposits of 125% using promo code JOIN125. So thank you to BetUS. They got quick 24-hour payouts and 24/7 customer service. So thank you for letting me provide Jaguars fans with this kind of news. And with all that said, let's talk about this boy, Calvin Ridley. So a lot of us knew this whole time this Calvin Ridley situation was just like really weird, with kind of like the draft compensation was the main weird thing. Because look, the Jaguars signed Calvin Ridley before 4 o'clock today. They would have given up a second-round pick, but if they waited until after 4 o'clock, it would have been a third-round pick. So all the rumors and chatter was that it was between the Jaguars and the Patriots. And, their offers were pretty similar, but the Patriots were going to have to offer a little bit more to make up for all the different taxes that's out there in the state of Massachusetts. But, with the Jaguars and Calvin Ridley, it seemed like a pretty done deal that they were going to wait until 4 o'clock and Calvin Ridley was going to say, all right, I'm all yours, Jaguars. But, I think today the Titans started looking at their situation and saying, okay, like, we probably need a wide receiver, and, we have the money to spend, and we can poach him from our division rival. So that's pretty much exactly what they did, and Calvin Ridley, guys, got the freaking bag, man. 4 years, $92 million. $50 million guaranteed. Now, I know for me, you guys have kind of known my perspective on the Calvin Ridley deal all these last couple of weeks. I was not really on board with giving Calvin Ridley a bunch of money. Although I was trying to keep Calvin Ridley. Like, whether, I don't know what the Patriots number was or what it was going to be. Like, 16 million a year I'm fine with, but maybe not all the way up to what he's getting from I think this equates to like $23 million per year. It's a lot of money for a guy like Calvin Ridley, who I know he took a year off, but I think he was a little bit underwhelming, I guess, in 2023, and he is getting a little bit older. But the situation that I am probably most upset about is the fact that Trent Baalke dragged his feet when it comes to re-signing Josh Allen. And I would have been totally on board with giving Josh Allen a big contract and then franchise tagging Calvin Ridley. It would have been a $21 million cap hit, which the Jaguars can definitely afford. And then it would have bought a year with the Jaguars and Calvin Ridley, and I think that they could have gone younger at receiver in the draft. You know what I mean? Like, if you draft a developmental receiver in a 3rd or 4th round, get him acclimated to the offense for a year, and then in year 2 they're ready to rock and Calvin Ridley's onto a new team. You know what I mean? But now we are in a situation where the slot wide receivers and the tight end, when it comes to Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk, are great. And now, I like Gabe Davis on the outside. But right now, the sole focus is Gabe Davis. And we kind of saw last year when it comes to Calvin Ridley played his best ball when there were 2 outside threats, himself and Zay Jones. We saw when Zay Jones came back, all of a sudden the outside, Calvin Ridley was playing a lot better. Because last year, the only real threat that defenses needed to target and look at was Calvin Ridley. But, now we're looking at a situation where it's Gabe Davis and Zay Jones, and maybe the Jaguars draft a receiver. We'll just have to see. So this is one that, with Trent Baalke, with just the way he handled this situation, not great. And, like I said, like I've been saying that I wouldn't give Calvin Ridley a multi-year deal just because I didn't think that, I guess, his fit was great in the offense. And I know all the different things, like, he took a year off. I get all that. It just never felt like Calvin Ridley in this offense ever really clicked. You know what I mean? And I was totally on board with, instead of giving a guy like Calvin Ridley 23 million a year, I would rather have gone for a guy like Gabe Davis. You know, I was putting this out there. Gabe Davis, 3-year, 39 million, all of a sudden sounds a lot better for a guy that's, you know, kind of entering his prime now. So the Jaguars still have a need at receiver. You know, I think they're going to have to address it in the NFL draft. But, you know, when it comes to this, I pivot now. We got some money to spend. The Jaguars haven't spent a single cent on the defensive line. There's Eric Armstead from the 49ers out there and available. I don't know if the Jaguars are in on that, but, you know, with all the money that we were going to allocate toward Calvin Ridley, it's probably smart that we did it, because there'd be a lot of receivers we're paying, man. You'd be paying Ingram. You'd be paying Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, you know, Gabe Davis. That's a lot of ball catches to pay money to. You know, now I'm in a situation where I want to go thick, man. Get an offensive lineman, preferably defensive lineman. I think Eric Armstead would be just an awesome grab, and I would be completely happy with that. But still a lot of work to do by Trent Baalke. He needs to nail this draft. Look, the last couple years, the drafts weren't great. There can be no excuses this year. He needs to knock this one out of the park. But do we all trust Baalke? I don't know. You know, I gave him credit for day one of free agency. He's going out there and spending some money. You know, I like it. But, you know, the job is not done. And, you know, right now, you know, you lose Calvin Ridley. You know, the situation stunk, but should have been able to franchise tag him. The Jaguars didn't. So now he is on to a division rival. And the AFC South as a whole is getting a whole lot better. It's going to be very difficult. So we'll just have to see. And yeah, Calvin really does have a link back there. Nick Holtz, who was the Jaguars passing game coordinator last season, is the offensive coordinator for the, you know, Tennessee Titans. So I'm not sure how much of an impact he had there. But yeah, Calvin Ridley, 1 year with the Jaguars, one and done, lots of hype, and probably didn't live up to it as much as we would have liked. But with all that said, that's how it goes. Let me know your thoughts. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Go Jags. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video, and we're out.